G'day guys, how you going? Welcome back to Easy Greens episode 2. This is episode we're going to show you how we actually fill the wicking bed that we built the other day. And I'll show you the different layers of how to get the soil ready, how to get the actual bed ready, and what you need to do to prevent soil from mixing with your water. So, let's get into it. Welcome back guys. Alright, so there's going to be 3 main points that I talk about this. 1, with your reservoir, you have your downpipes going through your box. But you've got to make sure that you put something to cover the end of the pipe so none of the soil will actually mix with the water and effectively stopping it from being a reservoir completely. 2, I'll talk about the soil mixture and what I use. And 3, finally, the layers of how to do it. So alright, we'll crack on straight away with the pipe. What I do is I get my pipe, so I pulled it straight out of my bed and I've placed it in like that. But as you can see, I've done 3 already. And I'll just show you how I do that. So remember when we made it, we had the slits in one side to help the water go into the actual pipe. I feed it over the top like that, and then push it straight back down through the lid. Now, this is obviously going to be a lot tighter than before, and that's because of the pipe, so do be careful and don't break the actual foam bed. As you can see, they're all netted up now, so no soil's going to get in that. Stick that straight back in the reservoir. And that's all sorted. Alright, so we'll talk about the soil. What I've got here, my soil mix. Now, I've got 2 parts soil, 1 part organic feeder, and 1 part horse manure. And that's what I use growing all my vegetables, and I'm going to plant tomatoes out in this one. So you need to have organic matter in there to feed the plants with the water, and that's the whole idea of wicking beds, is to get the water through the dirt so it actually brings out all the nutrients from the dirt for the plants. So you have to get good soil, good organic feeder, and a good organic matter in there. So all your green waste, compost, worm castings, you name it, throw it in there. Alright, the other thing I use in there is a bedding sand, and that's literally just a normal bedding sand that you'd get from any nursery or any hardware store or landscaping supply place, and that stuff is to separate between the water and the dirt. So anyway, alright, so we'll get into construction and we'll crack on with it. So I've got my foam bed, going to straight in with the bedding sand. Now I like to scoop this out individually and fill the pipes up. So now the pipes are full, and when I'm doing my layer, I like to put about 1 centimetre to 2 centimetres of layer of this. Make sure it gets down those pipes. If it's not down the pipes, then it's not going to do the wicking, and there's no point building it. Alright, so now we want to put a layer between the sand and the soil, and it's going to act as a blanket, essentially. But you want to be able to get the water through. So there's a couple methods you can use. A lot of people use shade cloth, leftover drainage mat, weed mat. I personally like to use sugarcane mulch because it makes a really nice, thick, organic layer, and that also gives off more nutrients into your plants. So I'll just buy your normal bag of sugarcane mulch, grab it in handfuls, and just shake it and break it like that. Now I like to get a good inch or so. What I do now, spread that around, but I give it a quick douse of water just to hold it down. Just like that. And what you'll find is when it gets wet, it actually locks into each other and sticks to each other, so it's less chance of dirt falling through. Even though it's going to get wet anyway, but the idea is to get it a head start. So now I've got my soil, and you can see what it looks like on the inside now with my sugar cane. So I get my soil, mix it straight in the top. And that's that. Like, it's really that simple. So now I've got my soil in there. What I'm going to do is give that a wet down, let it drop over the next few days, top it up with a bit more mix. Not much, only a little bit to pile it up to about there. And then once that's sat for about a week, I'm actually going to plant my tomatoes straight into here and let them grow from there on. And that's where they'll stay until I harvest them. So I'll put 2 tomato plants in this and put a trellis around it, which I'll do in a later clip. And once they grow up and harvest, then yeah, I've got fresh tomatoes. So now I'll just water that down real quick and I'll show you what you do when you're filling it up. Alright, so that's enough water. So when I'm filling up, I'll take my float out. Now, this is a 9 litre bucket. And I'll just make some adjustments here so you can actually see what's going on. See, that's my drain hole there. Remember when we installed that? Alright, so now I'm just going to pour straight into the fill pipe. If I can get it in there. You just keep filling until you see it come out the front. And that's that there. So that's a 9 litre bucket. And I've probably got 2 litres left, so it holds 7 litres of water in this reservoir. So you can imagine how many times it's going to save you from taking a trip to the tap or your rainwater tank, getting fresh water and filling water in a normal plant. Now it's time for the float. Float goes straight in there. As you can see, the red tag at the top here, just there, is floating well above the top of the pipe, which is perfect because it gives you the indication that it's got water in it. So we'll close that up. And that's it, YouTubers. Remember, I'll put a lot of links down below. One's to my new Facebook site, which is Easy Green Gardening. Please come along, like it. Feel free to post any posts on there about any ideas that you have, but they'll be constantly getting video updates and photos anyway from myself. I'll put some other helpful links down to wicking beds to give you more ideas, and so you can swap and change and build it to however you want, because that's what I did, and that's what everyone else does. You've got to make it to how you like it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and let everyone watch it. Cheers. See you guys.